After watching a random record challenge video on channel 33 RPM, I decided to take the challenge myself. Stick around and we'll dive in. Alright everyone, so I decided recently to try the random record challenge myself. I was watching a recent video with Frank on channel 33 RPM. I did not enlist Mrs. Vinyl Terry. She's a little bit more camera shy than I am. But instead I decided to take my Discogs app and give it a little shake. So I'm showing a little video in the background. I recorded this after the fact, but to give you an idea of how you can just randomly select records using your Discog app. It's pretty cool. And what I found when I was looking for records is it nailed some really interesting choices of some records, a few 7-inch singles, and also a few 12-inch full-length albums as well. So let's take a look at those. The first one is a really bizarre one. The first time I shook the app, it went with this one, and it couldn't get more bizarre. I've got a few hundred 7-inch singles. It's they're not something I collect aggressively, but I do have quite a few of them. And this one I picked up a few years ago from my local shop. It is the 7-inch single for Reactor, but what makes it Reactor by Neil Young. But what makes it really interesting is you'll see this unusual album cover or single cover, and it is a die cut single. So it's got the song Southern Pacific on one of the sides, and then Motor City on the other. So just a fun little collectible. It's kind of a pain in the butt to get in and out of the packaging, and it is a little bit rough and a little bit worn, but just kind of a cool example. Okay, up next is another 7-inch. Now, I'm a huge collector of Bruce Springsteen and his albums and singles. This is Cover Me, but what makes this a little bit more unusual is it is a Japanese 7-inch. Kind of a cool label. They use a little bit CBS. It's on an orange label. And then the artwork, it's kind of not a traditional sleeve. The cover itself is just a piece of paper, lyrics on the background, and then it's got the CBS Sony inner that it came with. So it's just kind of a fun collectible in the collection. All right, one more 7-inch single. Now this one isn't that unique in the sense of anything special, but the story behind it is just kind of funny considering the times that we're in now. So this is a 7-inch single from the Strokes, 1251. It's got the album version on one side, and then The Way It Is home demo on the B side. What's kind of fascinating about this is this came out in 2003. I got this as a free promotional item when I bought the album on CD. If you've been collecting records long enough, late 90s, early 2000s, it wasn't uncommon to buy a CD and the promo item you might get would be a 7-inch single. I can't imagine bands doing this today, just the cost of vinyl being what it is. But I know I've got this one, and I also have a 10-inch from Aerosmith when I bought their greatest hits, about 20 years back. All right, up next is it's a 12-inch. It's actually a little bit more of an EP. A fun one, though. It's Poncier, the legendary Cliff Poncier demos. If you've seen the movie Singles, these are the songs. In the movie, Cliff Poncier's got a cassette, and he's kind of showing off the music that he's put out. But these songs were actually recorded by Chris Cornell. It includes an early version of Spoon Man that went on to be a big hit for Soundgarden. But yeah, these were taken from the single soundtrack and released as a separate album. And this was for Record Store Day 2017, which was the 10th anniversary edition. So just kind of a fun release there. All right, up next is a compilation album, which I got not too long ago. This is called Cinnamon Girl. Now, I think this was released originally a while ago, but then they just put it out on vinyl in the last year. Cinnamon Girl, women artists cover Neil Young for charity. Just some cool covers here. You get like Tanya Donnelly doing Heart of Gold, Jill Sobule doing Down by the River, Veruca Salt, Burned, just Kristen Hirsch doing Like a Hurricane. So just an interesting mix of female artists covering Neil Young songs. It's a really cool listen if you get a chance to check this one out. All right, and the last one that came up for me on my random check was Tears for Fears, The Seeds of Love. This is a repress of their third album. The funny thing about this is the repress was coming out about a year ago or so. I pre-ordered it with my local shop, and it just never came in. And you know, it became a running joke with the manager there. I'd pop in, like, hey, is it in yet? And he's like, no, I don't have it. You know, and it just kind of boat back and forth. And I ended up going into another store randomly that's not too far from me, and went in, and they just had a copy. So I ended up picking it up, and they ended up canceling my order back at the other shop and gave me some store credit. So not a big deal. I eventually got it. It's a cool album. It's their third release, and it's the last one before Kurt Smith left the band. And obviously he's rejoined since, but there was a little bit of tension between him and Roland Orzabal for quite a few years. So good to get this repressing. It's a fun album and one to check out if you enjoy Tears for Fears. All right, let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. Be sure to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss more videos in the future. We'll see you again soon. Take care.